Hey, you know what? There's like a lot of buttons and lights on this thing. This pedal is an absolute playground for people like me and probably like you who enjoy exploring and unpacking new gear. You heard just how rich and layered the clips were in the intro, and we're gonna build up to that by the end of the video, but let's start with the basics. Yeah, it's a delay, but it's actually two delays. So two delay lines, and in stereo, they run parallel to one another. Let's start there and then bring in a little bit of panning to move them back and forth, and then a little bit of modulation to stir it up. I'm definitely not going to be able to get to everything, but just top level, there's an adjustable 3-band EQ, there's a soft clipping overdrive, phase control, including a random phase inverter, put a pin in that, tap tempo, presets, beat quantization, and yeah, the manual comes in handy, but once I show you the general approach, you'll see how all of this comes together. Like I said, there's two delays. We select delay A like this, delay B like this, both like this. We also have the ability to put either one of them in standby mode with this button right here, but when we want to work with the settings, any changes we do up here are applied to one or the other or both. So here we are setting the delay time for delay A. Here we are setting the delay time for delay B. And if we want to give a little extra depth to the modulation of delay B, here we are ramping up that value. Pressing down on the top right knob enters the value for us. The mix, feedback, and tap tempo are always available from these knobs and this foot switch. Almost everything else we'll get to from the buttons within the section, although there's a few more advanced options where you have to do some advanced button pressing. But it's stupidly easy to start with a fairly simple pair of delays and build it up into something like what we heard in the opening demo jam. One thing that's really important and really nice that they factored in here is when you've got two signals running in parallel that are just slightly time shifted off of one another, you will run into situations where wave interference can cause certain frequencies to get canceled out due to phasing. And this can be good interesting or bad interesting. So we have the option of inverting the phase for either delay line to help get us in or out of those situations. We can also enable this thing called random fluctuating phase modulation, RFPM, which randomly inverts the phase of the modulation. And it's subtle, but it's in there, and I don't leave home without it. A few weeks back, we looked at the Boss SDE 3000. That's a dual digital delay with modulation. I think I've also mentioned my fondness for the Eventide micropitch pedal and algorithms, also based around two independent delays with modulation. But this pedal's also got a built-in soft clipping overdrive that acts almost like a little preamp on one of the delay lines. So let's hear it first single delay, no overdrive, and then with it on. And then I want you to hear how it sounds intermixed with the second delay line, which doesn't have the overdrive. It's clean. That's where I think something really special is happening. As discussed, this is a stereo pedal, and so far we've been using it that way. In stereo mode, the two delay lines run in parallel with mixing happening at the panning stage. In order to run this in mono and still get the effect of two delays, we need to either throw something after it to sum the outputs, or set it into series mode, which puts one delay line after the other. The interesting thing about series mode is that the panning function winds up giving the echoes a little bit of a tremolo type effect. I am seriously only scratching the surface here. I haven't gotten into the MIDI or the beat quantization, the EQ, the high-low pass filters. Suffice to say, if you have a delay sound in mind, chances are you can do it in here. And flip side of that, if you're just after a new sound to help inspire you, there's 100 built-in presets, and a lot of them are really good. Sometimes when I'm messing around with a new pedal, there just reaches a point of no return where it's like, I've experimented and recorded enough just for my own entertainment that it would be really silly to not turn on the camera and write a few words. This is one of those videos. It was really easy to find great sounds from this pedal, and I just wanted to show it off to you. From a practicality standpoint, yeah, there's a lot of buttons and lights and stuff, but they are features that you might find on any advanced delay pedal. It's just designed with everything up front so you don't have to menu dive. If you're like me and you like having a lot of pedal to explore, but you also don't want to feel overwhelmed or have a bunch of features that you feel obligated to use just because they're there and you paid for them, I think this strikes a really nice balance. It actually reminds me a lot of the Boss 20 series pedals, right down to the 4 presets on the bottom right corner here. Maybe we can start calling this the DD40. Nah, Future Factory's a really good name. Let's stick with that. I'll catch you on the next one.